Hello, everybody. This is your business reality with CB. And today I'm very excited because I have a special guest. His name is Anthony Waite. And he's an amazing guy. I just got to tell you a little bit about him first. Anthony believes that life doesn't happen to you, okay? That it happens for you. This shift in perspectives have allowed him to go from a homeless teen to working with the President of the United States and travel the world providing medical support for third world countries. He now shares his outlook on personal transformation as speaker, trainer, and performance coach for audience ranging from elementary to executive level leaders. Before stepping into the business of speaking, coaching, and training, Anthony has honed his skills for the last 17 years as an active duty naval officer. So I just got to tell you, he's an amazing person and has been doing extraordinary things around the community. And as you can see, he helps people from elementary all the way to executive level leaders. So let me just go ahead and let's get started. You all know me. First off, thank you, Anthony, for being here with us today. And I just want to start off that thank you so much for everything that you do. It takes a really true person with heart to do what you do. So thank you for being here today with me. And I just want to start off with what made you become a coach and what is Lead 360?
Yeah, I think that what made me decide to become a coach is I was already doing it. I just didn't realize the significance of it. When you think about influence and coaching, it's leadership in a nutshell. And everybody influences somebody, but how we influence them is up to us. And when I decided to get intentional with how I influence those around me, those I lead and those I love, I realized that there is a space for coaching, and that there's always people that are ahead of us on this journey, and there's also people that are behind us that need our help to get to where they need to be. And without coaches, without a mentor, without somebody who is passionate about helping other people reach their potential, they may never get to the top of that hill that they're climbing. And it's our duty, I think, to make sure that we help them along the way. And so that's what led to Lead 360, and really what it is. It's a different shift in how we lead and how we influence other people. Instead of looking at it from the outside in about what do I have, it's about leading from the inside out and who am I and what have I become. So that's the Lead 360 kind of motto, if you will.
Yeah, and that's absolutely important of who you are, right? In order for you to figure out what you're supposed to do in this world, how you're gonna serve, etc., you got to get to know yourself a little bit more. So how do you got to know yourself a little bit more? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm still figuring myself out. If you want to know the truth, ask my wife. She'll tell you. No, but I think we're always in a constant state of progression. I always tell people, don't chase perfection, chase progression. Because coming through the ranks of the military, I joined as a teenager who was homeless, and it really took for me to hit rock bottom before I found that solid foundation to build a legacy. And I think there's a lot of people that have their certain level of rock bottom. Well, mine was, living on the street and kind of nowhere to go, no direction. And so throughout climbing the ranks of the military, the ones that had the most impact in my life were not the ones who walked with the strut, but with the occasional limp. And what I mean is that they showed me that it was possible for me by sharing their brokenness that led to their breakthroughs, not just a highlight reel, but the process involved to becoming your full self. And that's what really influenced me to say, you know what, I can do this too, right? And I think that if more people would really embrace that it's okay to share your flaws, right? That's what really connects us today. It's not about what you have, but who you've become in the process. And so that's what really got me started and fired up.
Absolutely. And we all have a process and we all have a journey. And that's part of life, right? Without the journey, we wouldn't be who we are today and what we're doing in life. And so thank you for sharing with me and the rest of the audience with that. And so let's get into the goodness of why is servant leadership important. I gotta say that a lot of people think I actually went to school for marketing, but I actually didn't. I actually went to school for business and emphasis on leadership, especially servant leadership. So for me, to be honest with you, Anthony, it changed my life entirely when you start thinking about what kind of leader you want to serve in your community, what kind of person do you want, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind. Those are the questions that I have never ever heard before, so I had the opportunity and I got very lucky. And thankfully more colleges are starting to implement the servant leadership, not just the tactics aspect of it, but you can be a servant leadership without having to go to school, right? And that's exactly what you did in the military and in other aspects. So tell us a little bit about servant leadership in your perspective.
Yeah, when I think about servant leadership, I think about the word value, right? A lot of people are afraid to lead because they don't know their value. And here's what I've learned: you cannot give what you do not have. And so, if you're going to add value to other people, you need to know the value that you possess. And one way to do that, whenever I felt like I wasn't good enough, that I didn't have enough, that I would never be enough, I realized that if you want to have more, you need to be more. So no better way to add value and to know your value than serve other people. A lot of people think value is what can I get, but it's really about what can you give. And if you don't know the value in life today, what I have found coming through the ranks and serving a lot of people and speaking on a lot of stages, if you don't know what you bring to the table, chances are you're going to be on the menu. And how many people go to that table and get eaten alive because they don't know their own worth and their own value? And a lot of it is because somebody like you and I have not told them that you are valuable, you do matter, and you do have potential that is untapped inside of you. And so servant leader means that you set down your agenda and you go and find other people, meet them where they're at, and help them complete their agenda. And as a result of the significance, you then taste success.
Absolutely. And right now, unfortunately, there's a lot of people about what's in it for me, right? Instead of viewing it the way you just explained, right? Which, to be honest, the way the servant leadership for me, it has changed my life completely, because it has a meaning to not only what you do, but you're helping people along the way as well. And that doesn't have, you can't put a price on that value. And so, sitting here with you, what are some ways that people can start viewing servant leadership besides, like, okay, help you in your services or help you get to your next goal? What are mindfulness thinking to start to think like a servant leadership? What are some ways that people can start adjusting and training themselves as well?
Absolutely. So if somebody's listening today or in the audience there, first of all, hello, good to meet you. But what I would tell you to do, right, because for a long time, I didn't believe that there was a message inside of me that could change somebody's life. I thought that, everything that I went through in life happened to me, not for me. And really, here's a practical step, because a lot of people talk about leadership and they talk about this big, flashy, woo-woo stuff. Here's something that you can do that I did that really helps me. I do it today before I step on stage to speak at a big event or in front of people. Get a piece of paper out, right? Just a little notebook, and write a line across the paper from 0 to, let's say I'm 35. So I'd go 0 to 35. And in 5-year increments, go back and reflect on all the events that happened in your life all the way up until now. Good, bad, happy, sad, mad, or glad, whatever it was, write it down. And then sit in there and think about, what was I feeling? What did I learn from it? Right? Because until you learn the lesson in life, it'll continue to give you the test. But what I found is that when you find these little things in your life, there's a tide that goes along everywhere in your life through all the events that you've had. And when you tie them and string them together, only then can you realize that you have a story inside of you, that you have something that somebody needs to hear, that if they did hear it, it could change their life. And so for those of you who are thinking, well, I don't have a story, I'm not a leader, go back and look at the timeline of your life and extract that. Too often we try to read other people's stories and books and look at other people's Instagram and motivational stuff. You have your own motivation inside of you. You have your own. You have to be able to go back and look at the value that you have, because all those things that happen in your life was for a reason. And only when you go back and reflect on it can you extract the lesson and then share it with other people. The content of your life is the curriculum for your evolution. I truly believe that.
Absolutely. And well said, Anthony. To be honest, that we're always going to be learning. And you know what? I didn't even know about that nifty trick. I'm going to go ahead and do it. And right now, after we're done with our call, and really reflect, because one of the things, at least for entrepreneurs, from my perspective, is we do so much and we don't ever sit down and really take in how much we have done, right? Whether it was good for us or whether it was a bad sale, whatever it may be. But being able to reflect and sit down and say, okay, this is what I have done is really, really important. So we actually have a someone that said something today. Her name is Angie. She's like my number one fan, by the way. I love Angie. Thank you, Angie, for being here today. And she says, I'm a teacher, so this kind of information is real useful to me. Thank you. So hey.
Awesome, Angie.
Yeah, absolutely. Anthony has also worked for schools as well and has done a lot of stuff with all kinds of levels of. So that's what makes you really special, by the way. This is why I brought you in today, because one way is a lot of people can just niche into one area, but you have been able to do it all over, right? With your information and what your techniques. And so, I'm really, really proud of you, by the way.
Thank you, Crystal.
Absolutely. And another, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, and you said something interesting, niching down. And I used to beat my head against the wall when I stepped into this entrepreneurship, if you will, if I can use that word loosely for myself to describe myself, because I'm still active duty military. I still, serve all over the world. But when I got into the business of speaking and coaching, I used to bang my head against the wall about, I need to find my niche. I need to find my avatar. Well, I would say that if somebody out there that's listening to this and they're still trying to beat their head against the wall, just be you. It's allowed me to serve at the elementary level, start programs in the community, but also serve at an executive level and lead teams all around the world. And I have yet to say, if you told me who my niche or my client was, it's anybody that I could serve, that I could be of service. But remember this, you can never take somebody where you've never been. So don't attempt to be something that you're not, because you will never have the things that you want. Remember, be, do, have. We're not have, do, be.
I love it. And you said something very valuable there is, just be yourself. And I keep saying that. I swear to God, I keep saying this past couple years to my clients, to people, they're like, how is it that you're doing what you're doing? I said, I'm just myself, and I'm able to create. I was able to see at a very young age my skills and my abilities and be able to serve with that. And so, at the end of the day, we all have a special, I call it superpower, right? We all have a special technique that we were giving, or we are, or working on, or, so forth. And being able to utilize that and know what that is, and being able to use it for good, for yourself, for your family, for people around you, is how I was able to move forward. And so that's skills, by the way, very professional. So from a marketing perspective, tell us, why is it important to have a good image?
Yeah, well, when you got an ugly mug like me, not everybody looks as good as you, so I have to make it up for it in the video. Yeah, well, I had a coach, right? My business coach, Dom Fawcett, amazing at what he does. And when I met him, the amount of money I had to spend for him, I was just blown. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Really? This is a lot. He's like, look, he said, here's what you need. I asked him, I want to have good videos. I need a camera. I need lights. I need all the stuff. And he said, this is what you need. This is what you should get. And when I looked at the price tag, I thought to myself, holy cow. And I looked at it as I was spending money, right? The poverty mindset, the scarcity mindset. Only when I switched my lens to this is an investment and I am in this for the long game, did I say, you know what, that Sony A7 III, which is what I use, by the way. And if you want, I can put it I have it on a PDF. I can send it to you to give to your audience if they want to know all the stuff I use for my home office. I'm in my work office, and I guess you kind of know when you made it whenever your home office is nicer than your work office. But I got the Sony A7 III, which is a $2,800 camera. I got the light. My office at home is nice. I got the microphones. But what I realized is that perception, that's the key to open the door to any relationship, right? If I want my clients to pay me what they pay me, thousands of dollars for coaching, just to have a phone call, right? It costs money. But if I'm going to do that, I want to make sure that they know that they're getting quality products. And that begins with what they see, right? What you see is what you get, right? And if that video looks like a $20 video, then I'm not going to get my $1,000 price tags that I use for coaching, speaking, and training. And just from the videos alone, right? And I'll just say, I have been able to land high-ticket coaching, high-ticket speaking engagements because it's all tied together. It's part of your brand. It's who you are. And I think that there's a time and place whenever you need to be, you can dress down or you can be yourself, as far as just wearing your flip-flops and everything like that. But there's a time whenever you need to put on the image of business, whenever you're getting serious. And there's a book by Todd Herman called The Altered Ego. If
Mhm.
you haven't read that book yet, it's an amazing book, but he talks about the studies that were done when kids put on superhero capes and how faster they ran and how high they jumped. And he said he did that with his business clients where they would put on just regular glasses, not even prescription glasses, and they would be able to almost turn into this superpower, that, like you said, the superpower, the superhero. And when I get into my office, that's my space to create. When I turn on the lights, the camera, it triggers something in my brain to say it's go time. And now there's somebody out there who's going to listen to this message. Do you want to land on their head or in their hearts? And my job is to make sure that my message lands in their hearts. I cannot do that if I do not connect. And in times of COVID right now, I can't get in front of people and they can feel my energy. So I have to do it on camera. And when you have the right setup, people can feel your message. They don't just hear it or see it, they feel it. And I think that that's what I try to aim to do.
Absolutely. And like you said, like being able to put that superhero cape, you may be really good at what you are, but if you are not being taken serious, it's going to be really, really hard for you to perform or do anything that you want to do, correct? So, like,
Yeah.
I'll just give you an example. People have been contacting me left and right, like, Crystal, in the past year or so, like maybe a year and a half, you've been growing so much. And part of it is going to be, in the past year or so, I was working a lot. I was working, COVID hit, and I was working 12, 15 hours. I did not stop one day to like just sit down and talk and lean into the whole COVID situation. For me, that was my creative side, right? I understood that the world was going to change by the time, all this was somewhat over. So what I started to do is started creating. So by the time 2021 hit, all my creative stuff were already published, already in. So everything you're seeing at the moment, what was created partially from last year. So I'm very similar like you, Anthony, as far as the creative side aspect, but I understood the importance of be yourself, yes, but to a certain point, be professional and be taken seriously, right? At the end of the day, you may have the best messaging, but if you are just not doing the right steps or you're just not taking it seriously, people can see through that. And like Anthony was saying, a lot of the messaging now is you want to hit people through the hearts, right? You want to make them feel something that they maybe have never felt, or you want the feeling aspect does not leave, right? Logistics is logistics, but the being able to combine logistics with the feeling part of it, in my opinion, is one of the best. For me, one of the challenging, but for me, it has been very joyful to see the changes that people are making when they feel, oh my God, I don't like marketing. And the next thing you know, they're calling me, Crystal, I have a great marketing plan, because I have already converted that negative into the positive of them not understanding the unknown, right? Into something positive. And so you can also do that. Anthony is doing that. I'm doing that. So you can also do that and be able to be out there for people. And one of the things that I would say, Anthony, with time, everything comes with confidence, right? At the end of the day is how confident in your inner self do you believe in what you do? Are you aligned with everything that you are doing and you are saying at the end of the day? Because if you are not aligned, for example, with the pricing, or you're not aligned with the messaging, it's going to come out and people will notice and your subconscious will kick in, and then you may wonder, why can't I do it? What am I doing wrong? And like Anthony said, be true to yourself, be aligned, know yourself, your inner self, and be honest, be genuine. At the end of the day, you're here to support and help and serve someone, and you're supposed to make their life better, not harder.
Yeah, that's right. And by no means am I a professional photographer or videographer, but I see people that pay thousands of dollars for people to edit their stuff, and it's horrible. And I'm like, wow, if I'm going to pay that kind of money, then I'll just do it myself. And so I figured it out. But you're right, it comes with confidence. And most people today don't have the confidence. And here's what I found. Confidence doesn't come just as a matter of you just showing up one day and feeling good about yourself. It comes by consistency. Consistency breeds confidence. And so any area of your life that you say, I'm not confident right now, maybe it's my videos, how I speak, how I show up for other people, then I guarantee you it'll tie back to an inconsistency in your life. That showed up in my marriage when I was not confident with who I was as a husband, a father, a leader in my own home. It showed up when I'm not, in the military, when I'm not leading as a naval officer. It showed up in my business. And every time that I lacked confidence, it was because I had inconsistency. I would do good one day, maybe 2 days, But it was when I strung all these days in a row, just a little bitty steps every single day. Guess what? That confidence compounded into the congruency. Now I show up as my normal self, despite if I don't get the hearts or the likes or the thumbs up or whatever. I don't care, because if one person, right, like Angie, jumped on and say, thank you so much, that made the difference for me, because I changed one life. That's all.
Absolutely. And interesting enough, I found that a lot of the confidence and stuff comes from childhood, in your past, something dramatic that happened in your life. And so being able to, if you ever want to succeed in, like you said, in a relationship, in a business, anything in this world, you have to start with yourself. And part of that is going to be being able to be consistent, like Anthony said, but also being able to recognize that, hey, there's something going on, and so maybe I should be able to fix it, right? And so Anthony is here to hear and support and help you in any way that you can, as far as leadership, servant leadership. He's very, very, very well known in our community, and so this is some of his social media where you can find him, but I'm also going to put them in the description in case you don't want to like copy and paste everything. You just want to click away. I will definitely put that out for you, ladies and gentlemen. And so, Anthony, just one more thing. Let's leave us with the audience something that is going to be inspirational for people that they can continue in doing what they are meant to do in this world.
Yes. I mean, Crystal, if I could tie everything that we just talked about today, if I could tie it up in a nice little package and put a bow on it, it would simply be this: that you don't need to lead with credentials. All you need to do is lead with your character, right? Credentials will get you in the door, but it's only a matter of time before your character is found out. Everything that I've done in business, right? I have the degrees, I have all the titles and everything like that. And I thought that I needed to have more in order to be somebody. And what I found is that as I started stepping on stage and being congruent with who I was, NASA, TEDx, all these stages that I've stepped on, not one of them asked me for a credential. Not one of them asked me if I had a degree, a title, a certification. And I was like, man, if I would have only knew this, I wouldn't have spent all this money for all this stuff that I tried to get to have in order to be somebody. Just be that person, be that business owner, be that leader, and you'll be able to have the things that you want in your life. It's almost weird because it comes to you. When you stop chasing success, you taste significance, and success follows suit shortly after. So always think about this. Am I leading into this business transaction, this relationship, this communication, this speech? Am I leading with character, or am I trying to lead with credentials?
Oh, I love it. That's the way to end a podcast for sure. But I just want to say that we have a couple more comments, one more comment for Jessica Johnson. She just said thank you.
You're welcome, Jessica. Thank you for showing up.
Absolutely. And I just want to add in there, thank you, Anthony, for being here today, for showing us so much of the capabilities that we all have in ourselves. We just have to believe, we just have to serve, and we just have to go out there and do it. Just try it. Just jump in. Don't even think about it. Just jump into
it. That's it. Keep going. If you can't, if you take off, and if you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. If you can't crawl, skate, hop, skip, but don't ever stop. Just keep going, because there's somebody that needs to hear your voice and what you have to give.
Absolutely, step by step, little by little, right? Somebody told me actually last week, she said she's actually Ragnar Syndicus, the founder of WWCA. She goes, Crystal, we can't eat the elephant in one bite. You're just gonna have to take little bites here and there. And so you're absolutely right. And that's the beauty of being able to be in service, that you surround yourself with beautiful people that are similar values as you. And it's wonderful to see, right? Because the level of stress is not there anymore. You're on the same page. You're able to create magic, I call it. That's right. And so let's create more magic, everybody. I know that you can all do it. And with the help of Anthony, I'm here to support and help you in any way that I can, even if it's networking, sending you somebody that can assist you and help you, like a person like Anthony. I just want to see a better world, because think about it. If we fix ourselves, then our children will see that, right? Our nephews or nieces, will see that. And being able to support each other in that sense of generational cultural change, I mean, that's a legacy right there. So let's create a legacy. Let's create magic together. And I just want to say thank you for being here today. I will see you all next week on Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. Have a blessed day, and please have a wonderful week. Take care.